Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. Today, a champion will be determined here under the lights from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The four names looking to find a championship here tonight is William Byron, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, and Ty Gibbs. Hendrick Motorsports, 2 cars. Joe Gibbs Racing, 2 cars. Unfortunately, we were the title favorite, but the playoff system was not in our favor, and NASCAR has some decisions as well to make in the offseason regarding the playoff system that's going to come down to the council, also known as you guys. Following this episode, which should be coming out at about 7 p.m., at 7:40 p.m., around that area, there should be a poll up in my community post section asking you guys if the playoff system should be used for the next season or if we should be returning to the traditional 10 race chase. There will still be some element of a postseason format. I personally just feel like 36 races still should have some kind of postseason, but you can see here in practice we were looking okay, nothing special here. Now Las Vegas is a track I haven't been that great at in the past, so honestly, even if I made the championship 4, I'd be a bit concerned coming into this race weekend. But we saw, of course, last episode, Ryan Blaney gets so close to finally getting into the Final Four with a win, but he was just barely held off by good friend of Bubba Wallace now, who picked up his first win in over a season as we come through into qualifying at a turn 2 down this back straightaway. What kind of position can we find ourselves in as we go down into turn 3? 1 and 2, the car hooked up really well, and on the inside in 3 and 4, it does it again. A really good series of corners, a great lap overall, and usually we're outside of the top 10 at a mile and a half, but that lap was so good, I think we might be in the top 10. A 30.823 puts us P9. We will absolutely take that, the 5th row on the inside, but the Final Four, that's the big question. William Byron, the highest qualifying Final Four driver, P7. Larson, who was eliminated in heartbreaking fashion, in P2. Beyond Bubba Wallace, who gets pole. Chase Elliott, the 2nd of the Final Four. Gibbs in 13th, and then Christopher Bell. Where is the number 20? We have to go all the way down to P26. Already concerned in the 20 camp as we head into the rest of this weekend, where champions, of course, have to be determined. In the Truck Series, we actually saw Tanner Gray pick up the victory, but the championship fight was between Matt Mills, Lane Riggs, Caden Honeycutt, and Ty Majeski, and the highest finishing driver was Lane Riggs, who picked up his first ever Truck Series championship here in the top 3 NASCAR series. We as well had the Xfinity Series championship, where Chase Purdy actually picked up the victory there, but it was Jesse Love, the highest finishing Final Four driver, in 4th place with only 1 win on the season. Jesse Love wins the Xfinity Series championship over the favorite of William Sawalich, of course, Joe Gibbs Racing teammate. Rajat Caruth again with a great effort, P6. Zilish as well in the top 10, but now it's time to determine a champion of the NASCAR Cup Series.
It all comes down to this night, this moment. It's time to crown a Cup Series champion. Chase Elliott is chasing his 2nd title, while Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, and William Byron all chase their first.
It's been a season of memories and incredible moments. All 4 drivers are worthy of this title, but only one can celebrate at the end of the night.
Right, James. Right, team. Sucks we're not fighting for a championship tonight. Of course, I think we deserve to be here. We proved it. The last half season has been incredible, but thank you everybody for the hard work this season, and good luck to Christopher as well as Ty tonight. We'll try to help them when we can.
Thank you, Gary, for your work this year. It's been fun. Let's focus on ending the season strong.
All of Joe Gibbs Racing's resources have gone into the 54 and the 20, of course, as they both fight for a championship here tonight. So it would not be surprising to see myself and Denny Hamlin a little bit slower than those 2 on this specific weekend here, as we are about to take the green flag to start a race one final time in Season 3. It's been a heck of a ride, a heck of a season, a career season for us so far. The green flag is out, and we are ready to determine a NASCAR Cup Series champion. William Byron starts the best of the Final Four, and drivers, of course, looking for the first championship. Byron, as well as Gibbs and Bell, Elliott, the only one in here that's already won a championship, looking for his second Cup Series title. Kyle Larson, I mean, what could have been for the number 5 who was in position to make it into the Final Four and defend his Cup Series championship from last season, and he's already going for the lead of this race. Bubba Wallace all the way to the outside, but Keselowski's going to slip through on the inside. You got Reddick as well as Blaney up there in the mix as I make a little bit of contact with Corey LaJoie. All Hendrick cars showing some speed right off the bat, but that 24 already up a few spots here into P6 as we look to his right rear, but not quite enough in it. He gets to the inside of the 12, and William Byron really asserting dominance right off the bat going forward, but Ty Gibbs is on the way forward as well as we go 3 wide around the outside of the 12 and the 24 into turn number 3. Going to keep it up here up towards that wall, and Bubba Wallace holding on the best he can as I'm right up against the outside wall at a turn 4. We actually clip it already here on just lap 2. Here comes Elliott through on the inside. I'm unfortunately planted directly in front of my teammate of Ty Gibbs right now. The question is, how much ground can Christopher Bell make up? Does he have a car capable of running well or not? Byron into third. That 24 is looking strong, but it was Tyler Reddick who would eventually get the lead as I find myself in a 3-wide middle scenario very briefly. Here comes Denny Hamlin in the same Interstate Battery colors that we have on our car tonight as now Shane Van Gisbergen goes through, and Elliott's making his way forward, and now here comes Ty Gibbs. It's an absolute cluster right now, and there's Christopher Bell into the 13th position already. They might not have had a good qualifying effort, but they are showcasing immediately that, hey, we might not have qualified well, but we got some race pace. William Byron was up still towards the front, but as these laps were going on, he was starting to fade backwards. He's now on the outside and just outside the top 5, as well as we're 3 wide with Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch as well going around the outside. Busch in his final race to try and end his winless streak. This could be the first season ever where Kyle Busch goes winless unless he finds a way tonight in that 3 cheap number 99 Trackhouse Camaro. As William Byron is fading, he's down to P12. He drove into the top 3 and suddenly he is struggling. You have to wonder if there's a potential issue in the 24 as we're going to go by on the inside. What has gone wrong there? You don't move forward that quickly and then just drop like a rock. Usually it's instant either way, but that 24 went forward and now he's going in the wrong direction and he would continue to fall down the order. So at Final Four, drivers struggling early as Ty Gibbs as well outside the top 10, not showcasing a lot, but Christopher Bell is right up on the back of Chase Elliott, who's moved into the 3rd position. So 3rd for Elliott, 4th for Bell, and immediately you have to think Christopher Bell has already put himself as a favorite for this championship because it's only lap 9 and he's driven from outside the top 25 to the back of Chase Elliott in this championship battle, and they both run in the top 4 right now as we continue to just kind of hover around this 12th, 13th place area. Ty Gibbs now into the top 10 over Hamlin as I'm looking to the right rear quarter panel of Ryan Blaney. Down this back straightaway will be side by side. Chastain just behind as well as we roll into turn 3. Hamlin goes to the top. We look for the middle. Now he covers that middle lane. A bit of contact there with the 12. That slides us up the track a little bit, a few grooves up, and Chastain goes through on the inside as well. We drop down to P14 as we approach the halfway point of stage number 1, and not really any pressure from behind, but Logano goes around into turn 1 with a blown left rear tire and a slam from behind from the future Penske driver of the number 2. That was Todd Gilliland in the 34, so the caution is out about halfway through stage 1, bringing everybody into the pit lane, and immediately you see some adjustments because we're not satisfied starting 9th and running about 14th place. And we get ready to roll here now as we maintain P14 for the first restart of the night here. Ryan Blaney on the inside as the green flag is back out here, and actually the number 10 of Noah Gragson has remained on the racetrack, so that's going to make things a little bit interesting here. He's going to slow some drivers up. A bit surprised to see him stay on the track because he cannot make it to the end of stage 1 by staying out here, so that makes 0 sense, but he still leads the way out of turn 2. Now a little bit of a stack up in front of us. Hamlin on our nose as we head down this back straightaway towards turn number 3, going to go up to the outside, and there you see Gragson in that red front end there. He's all the way up to the top now, and Christopher Bell to the lead, bringing Chris Buescher with him. Elliott's going to get held up behind Gragson a little bit, so Christopher Bell not only to the lead of the championship, but to the lead of the race. That number 20 is on absolute fire right now as we head down into turn 1. down. Top 15, Corey LaJoie, his final race in the 48, his future to be determined, but it sounds like he's going Xfinity racing next season, but we'll know all in the off season. Now is actually nearly some contact with the 6 of Keselowski, but stay tuned. Next episode there will be a lot of news in the off season situation and what's going on there. Maybe a new body for the Toyota as well. There's a lot of cool things on the way as we clip the outside wall for the second time today, and we are just struggling to do much here tonight under the lights in Las Vegas. But as well, just a bit of a note that just like between last season and this season, there's going to be a good week at least between episodes for this final episode and then the Daytona 500 with an off-season video kind of thrown in between. It takes a lot of work in this game to do all the off-season stuff with the roster changes and changing all the paint schemes and car models as well, because we do have Honda coming in as well next season. So stay tuned, but I will keep you guys posted, and hopefully within a week-ish, maybe a little bit longer, we'll have season 4 rolling, and I think it's going to be a heck of a season. There's a lot to look forward to going into season 4 of this career mode with the new Honda manufacturer coming in. We've got new teams, specifically Dale Jr., of course, bringing his Junior Motorsports into the Cup Series, taking over the assets of Stewart-Haas Racing, switching them over to Chevrolet, bringing Carson Hocevar over to the team. And I'm really curious kind of with the Honda plot line with Trackhouse going to Honda as well as the Andretti Global team. I'm curious to see with 2 teams, 3-car teams, both. I think we're going to see a third full-time ride for Andretti next season. It'll be interesting just to see what both of those teams are capable of doing on the racetrack. Trackhouse has had an up and down season. Of course, Chastain, SVG, 2 wins apiece there, but Kyle Busch has gone winless all season long. It's interesting as you see Denny Hamlin moving his way forward, and of course what is his final race as a full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver. He is not done behind the wheel. You're going to see Denny Hamlin in more races in this career mode, just not at a full-time capacity. He will be driving his own car with 2311 Racing, specifically not finalized yet, but we've already speculated a few times this season. It does sound like he will be in the Daytona 500. Christopher Bell, however, wins stage number 1, and we are going to end up in a bit of a disappointing 13th place effort there. Definitely some work to be done. As you can see, Elliott maintains P4, and it's Reddick and Buescher in between the 2 championship drivers. Gibbs outside of the top 10, Byron really struggling as well, so definitely concern for those 2 drivers, as I feel like we can comfortably write them off as we continue to make adjustments. Now attacking the left side, tire pressure is going from about 22 PSI to 25 as we get ready for the start of the second stage of this race. A championship battle, it's not too focused on yet until we get to that third and final stage, but it seems apparent that the 9 and the 20 are the 2 drivers that will be going for this championship by the end of the night. Stage 2 is underway, and Christopher Bell leads the way on this long run down towards turn number 1. How about RCR's Austin Hill having a solid run here tonight in that number 8 as well? We talked about Denny Hamlin already, his final Cup Series start. Well, let's not forget Austin Dillon. Of course, he is in his final Cup Series start, a pretty early end to a Cup driver's career, but he is moving into an ownership role, of course, alongside Kevin Harvick, who's joining him at RCR next season as they basically take over the reins for Richard Childress into the outside wall on the exit to turn 4. The 3rd time tonight we've done that. It's just so tight on these restarts, man.
Don't worry about it. You need to be more patient on these starts. The car will take a bit to come to you.
And you hear James Small just kind of saying, hey, you need to be a bit more patient, because we're just trying, to force it kind of on these restarts when that's just not going to work. So we find ourselves mired down in 20th place with 24 to go in stage 2, 3 wide in front of us. Logano, how about that, moving forward after his crash earlier in stage 1 about halfway through the stage. Byron again going backwards at 24 is a full-blown write-off. They're going to have to try something in stage 3. Stage 2 for the 24 and also the 54 is just a waiting game. They can't do anything right now that's going to win them a championship. They can do something in stage 3 if they get a weirdly timed caution. They can maybe get off strategy, do something different from the 20 and the 9, who obviously are the 2 right now that are running right together for a championship. So it's going to be interesting to just see what happens here. Now as Brad Keselowski is going to get in front of us as we pull a bit of a slider on Nick Sanchez now as we exit turn 2. It's going to be really interesting seeing rookies next season. Now, Rookie of the Year battles already sorted this season. It's our future teammate for Kaulig Racing right now, Chandler Smith, who has won Rookie of the Year. He, of course, is driving the number 18 Joe Gibbs Toyota Camry next season alongside us, so that's going to be exciting to have him over here with our team, and excited to see what he is able to do, because I think he's honestly earned a solid ride. He's done a very solid job with the Kaulig Cup Series team, and of course Kaulig going through some significant changes next season as well, downgrading to just one full-time car, still feeling the effects of the penalties that NASCAR handed down on them at the very beginning of this season after the situation with myself here. Now, coming to 10 laps to go, though, in stage number 2, and we're struggling here. I just can't go forward. We obviously need to take a pretty big swing at this car as the 97 of Shane Van Gisbergen goes around into turn 1, having a solid top 10 run. No more. The caution is out, and it's night over for the 97 as we would start to take the big swings at the car. We went way up on the right side tire pressures to 57, and the left sides we made some adjustments as well. We actually would gain 2 spots in the pits. Unfortunately, the 54 Ty Gibbs lost a significant amount of positions in the pit lane, so he's outside the top 20 now as we get back rolling, and it's still Christopher Bell out front, but Chase Elliott again right there with them, running in the top 3, so we know that 9 car is going to be pressuring him all race long. But we've got some big adjustments in this car. The question is, what can we do with it? We have not been having a good night here in Las Vegas. Can we find a way to go forward? Well, we get aggressive right off the bat. 3 wide around the outside of Chase Briscoe into turn number 3. Nick Sanchez on the far inside. Now, we have an interesting rookie situation developing for next season where currently quite a few teams are trying to hop on some of these Xfinity prospects that are working their way up and catch them early and bring them into their Cup Series program to make sure they don't lose them. So you're going to see maybe a guy like Nick Sanchez full-time Cup Series competition next season. Connor Zilish, who's yet to win an Xfinity race but has proven he's certainly an up-and-coming talent, because these Cup teams want to snatch them up while they can and not wait and let another team do it. So I think next season, outside of the manufacturer situation with Honda, a potential change for Toyota, we as well have this rookie situation that's developing, and kind of a change of how things are going to go for a lot of the young crop of drivers. It's going to be really interesting as Chase Elliott to the lead in Las Vegas, but hold on, he's battling tight with Christopher Bell. Elliott's on the inside for the lead, Bell's on the outside, but Elliott proving right off the bat that, hey, I can take the lead of this championship battle as we clear Ryan Blaney, and Elliott has cleared the 20 with 4 laps to go in stage 2, but we have climbed up to P11 as we've clearly made the right adjustments in this number 19 Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. 2 laps to go in stage 2, and now Elliott's actually going to lose the lead to Tyler Reddick now. Reddick winless this season as well. His teammate Bubba Wallace just won last episode. Can Reddick go to victory lane here tonight as we look to the inside of Austin Hill on this final lap of stage number 2? Hamlin there up in front of us, in front of Chastain. He's side by side with the 60 of Justin Haley. Haley 2 wins on the season, of course. Earlier this season, I believe it was Richmond, and then of course a little bit later on in the regular season in Canada. It's been a solid season for RFK in their first full-time 3-car season now, and going to 4 next season with Chase Briscoe behind the wheel of the 98. Reddick wins stage 2. We cross the stripe P10, getting a stage point, but Chase Elliott has taken control of the championship battle over Christopher Bell. That's a statement and a half going into stage 3, the final stage. Kyle Larson 4th. How about Kyle Busch having a solid run? Hamlin as well having a solid run. But we're going to get another pit stop after this one, and it's a 2-stop race or a 1-stop race following this one from that point on. Byron and Gibbs, they need some help. They are going to have to do something different. That's their only option. They are not going to win a championship on speed. It's going to have to be a form of strategy, but it's going to have to be as well a conveniently timed caution to even open the door for a strategy. We're back underway. Stage 3. 34 laps to go in Season 3, as it's going to be Tyler Reddick leading the way into Turn 1. Elliott, row 1 outside, is going to open the door for Christopher Bell to follow that 45 and go to the lead of the championship battle, as we have a bit of a check up there behind the 11 who was slowed up behind the 99 who was slowed up for some reason now, with Kyle Busch that was, as we're side by side with Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith's been running very solid towards the end of his first rookie season here in the Cup Series, and he will be returning to the Andretti Global team as they switch to Honda next season there. That will be the third full-time season for that Andretti team. They have picked up wins in both seasons. Of course, LaJoie won the Daytona 500, if you guys, of course, have not forgotten, all the way back in season 2. And then we as well saw Carson Hocevar win the Brickyard 400. So that was this season. Only 2 wins for the team, but they've both been crown jewel victories as we roll through turn 3, passing Austin Hill maybe on the exit of turn 4, trying to force the issue a little bit, but he hangs on that right rear quarter panel and in towards turn 1. However, we have enough speed to clear him. Bell looking for the lead of the race now. Elliott maintains P3 side by side with the 17 of Buescher, but Bell is going to pass Reddick for the lead as we continue to march forward now, passing that Busch Light Chevrolet driven by Chastain into turn 3. That puts us P9, and Bell is out in front. Can he run away with his first NASCAR Cup Series championship? He's going to have to wait. The 22 of Logano is going to bring out his second caution of the night in the Powerade Ford Mustang, as his engine has an issue there. That might be the end of the night for Joey Logano, and the caution flies. Nobody's going to pit because we cannot make it from here, so there's really no legitimate reason to come in now. So we'll stay out, get ready to restart P9 as we have a good seat here to kind of watch this championship battle sort itself out. Bell leads the way over Reddick. Elliott in P3 is going to be able to follow that number 20, hopefully through, and maybe put them both first and second. Kyle Larson 5th, Hamlin 7th, Kyle Busch P6. Can he find a way to victory lane as we go down into turn number 1? Hamlin a little bit up the track. I try to kind of give him a moment, but he's not going to cover it. We're going to take it. It might be his final race, and he might be a teammate, but it's the final race of the season. I'm going for it. So we'll take that 11-3 wide. He pulls out, and now we go up into P7 as we dive down into turn 3. Bell to the outside. He's going to allow that 9 to go up the inside and potentially take the lead of this race wheel to wheel here on the exit of the corner with that number 60 Walmart Ford Mustang operated by Justin Haley. Now 26 laps to go. You can go about 21, 22 laps on field, so we're not far outside of the field window. Now if we get a caution within a couple laps, it will make things really interesting here as we head down this back straightaway now, and on the exit of turn 4, still battling with that number 60, but here comes Denny Hamlin now. He was able to find a hole on the inside and take it now. Elliott is in control. A bit of contact there with the 11. That was just me trying to get in line behind him, but Chase Elliott to the point, but he's brought Kyle Larson with him. Hamlin's going to go down to 3rd, and Larson's helping his teammate now, getting in between him and the 20. Here comes Chastain as it seems like we're starting to struggle a little bit here. 24 laps to go. We're only basically a lap or 2 outside of the field window at this point, so it's getting close, for opportunities to open up here. But Christopher Bell, with 22 to go, would find a way past both the 5 and the 9. And Bell gets back to the lead of this race. Trouble in the back. The 34 of Ton Gilliland into the outside, while in the caution's going to fly one more time. And it's with 22 laps to go, right on the edge of the field window. 20 laps of field is what we would get. Bell, Elliott stay out. Looking down the order, some are pitting, including us. Ty Gibbs is pitting. Byron stays out, but Gibbs, the only Final 4 driver that's going to come into the pit lane. This is about to get interesting. So Larson pits as well as Buescher. We are going to be second on tires and fuel. We should be flying through the field probably better than anybody else around us that just pitted as well. However, there's now a situation developing. The 20 as well as the 9 of Chase Elliott. If it stays green, which I don't think it's going to, we have 19 laps to go. It would take a lot for it to stay green that long. But if it does stay green, they will have to pit under green flag conditions, and so will everybody else in front of myself and Kyle Larson right now. But the 54 of Ty Gibbs will not have to pit, because with those caution laps, we're about 1 lap good. We are about 1 lap to the good on field on the restart. Ty Gibbs is banking on this race staying green. If it stays green, Ty Gibbs can win this championship. Now, this strategy is completely ruined if there's a caution within the next 10 to 15 laps whatsoever, because then it will allow the 20 to pit, it will allow the 9 to pit, and everybody else is going to be forced to pit with them because they'll all have fresh tires, and they will basically be back in the same situation they were before. So the only way Ty Gibbs can benefit out of this pitting situation with us is this race stays green until the end. That's the only way it can work. Even a 2-lap dash with a caution coming out with 2 to go the tire difference would be so massive. The 20 and the 9 would blow the doors off of us. It would blow the doors off of as well, I'm sure, the 54, and they would go on to fight for a championship that way as well. So Gibbs needs it to stay green. Why didn't Byron pit there? You got to try something. You have no speed. We are slicing our way through traffic, but we're not going to be able to run down the cars at the front. That's just quite obvious at this point now, but we are at least the first car on this pit strategy as we breeze past William Byron up front. The top 3, it's Reddick, it's Bell, it's Elliott as well as we go down into turn 3, passing the 15 of Ryan Preece. We're closing in now on the fuel window, the 20 of Bell to the point, but they are going to have to pit soon. They would like to see a caution. This is not a part of the cards. They need a caution for this situation to work out for them as we go down towards turn number 1. 14 laps to go. We're continuing to march our way forward, and now the urgency is building. Elliott needs a caution. Bell needs a caution. If they are on the pit lane when a caution comes out, it's okay. They just need a caution before they get put a lap down after pitting. But now you can see we're in a 3-wide battle here with the 48s as well as the 12 of Ryan Blaney. It's getting a lot harder to pass as these laps go on. But the fuel window, it's time for drivers to come into the pits here within the next lap or 2 as we roll through turn 3 up the inside nearly of the 14. Can't quite make something materialize, but we've entered the top 10 at this point at least now. Coming to lap 82, you can see still struggling a little bit here as they're all stretching the field hoping a caution's coming, but the caution does not appear to be coming at this point. Lap 83, I expect to see some cars pitting this time as we go down this back straightaway side by side with the 14, and now it's desperation mode for the 9 and the 20. Reddick pits and so does Chase Elliott. Bell remains on the racetrack, so this is going to get interesting here as who's going to come out first between the 9 and the 20. I'm continuing to struggle, and Kyle Larson is closing on me. Through 1 and 2, we're finally going to get past this 14. Not quite, and here comes Kyle Larson, but Christopher Bell, he's going to be pitting this lap all on his own, but going 1 extra lap, what is that going to mean for him? We clear the 14, but slide up the track. Larson's going to take the lead, and Bell into the pits, giving the championship lead to Ty Gibbs, and Elliott and Reddick are going to go 1 lap down. Bell, when he's exiting the pits, we are waiting, we're waiting. Where's the 9 of Chase Elliott? He's rolling there. You see the 9 coming in the left side of the frame, and it's not even going to be close. Elliott breezes through, takes the lead between him and the 20, but the overall championship lead is Ty Gibbs, who pitted under the last caution. The only way the strategy would work is if they got forced a lap down and it stays green until the end, and it looks like that might happen. Larson's running away from me. I've got no speed. That's just a reality here. And here's Brad Keselowski ending his season on a high. Finally got back to victory lane in real life and did it as well in this season of the career mode, and he looks to take second place from me and his teammate as well as employee Chris Buescher coming in that subway machine as well in the background. I've got nothing. It's just about hanging on at this point. Kyle Larson, 2 wins on the season, and suddenly we realize what could have been if Larson just would have had a little bit more luck and didn't have that poor timed caution. He would maybe be looking at a 3rd championship. As you see the 9 and the 45 moving forward, but the 54 is right there. Gibbs is in the championship lead on lap 88, and what a situation this has become, where one of the drivers that hasn't run well all night long might be the one that wins the championship, and really showcasing what the playoff system can kind of do, and not in a good way, as this might be something that completely ends the playoff system. What a story it would be, and maybe not a good one for the integrity of the playoff system if Gibbs is the one that wins this championship after the 9 and the 20 dominated all race long, and a caution and strategy might be the reason they lose. 2 laps to go, and the 9 and the 45, they're both closing in on me. They're desperately hoping for a caution, anything that can give them some sort of chance. Elliott needs to be in front of that 45 to get the free pass, but even with the free pass, you'll have to start at the back. It's over. Kyle Larson through 3 and 4. Even a caution at this point is not going to change nothing for Ty Gibbs. What a story. Ty Gibbs has not barely run top 10 all race long. Larson takes the white flag here from Las Vegas. I'm just staying out of the way from these two. I've got nothing for them. They got fresher tires. They got better everything all race than me. They breeze by on the inside, but I'm sure Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell have to be furious with not only themselves, but their crew chiefs as well for making them stay out under that last caution. They did not anticipate it going green the whole way through. Kyle Larson through 3 out of turn 4 is going to come through down this front straightaway to win in Las Vegas. His third win on the season. He wins the season finale for the second time in the career mode, but it's Ty Gibbs on strategy. Ty Gibbs is a NASCAR Cup Series champion, matching Jeff Gordon, one of the all-time greats of the sport, who was able to win a championship in only his third full-time Cup Series season. Unbelievable, from winless and missing the playoffs in his first season, and as well in the second season missing the playoffs, finally finding some heat, finding his pace, finding his comfortability, and now he is a champion, but in a very questionable way, to say the least. And you have to wonder if this is going to kind of take away from the playoff system and maybe force NASCAR's hand into bringing back the 10-race chase for next season. Overall, what a season it was, of course. For us, we had the most wins on the season with 5. It was a heck of a season for us. It wasn't meant to be in terms of a championship. It is what it is. It's how the season goes. It's how the sport works. But, I mean, it got to be the most weird Cup Series championship ending we've seen since the playoff format's come in, outside of, Carl Edwards getting robbed in 2016. Ty Gibbs is officially a Cup Series champion. We got a new champion. He still had, in my opinion, one of the best seasons of anybody. 4 wins, was one of the drivers I had picked for competing for a championship. So is Ty Gibbs winning a championship surprising? No. Is him winning it tonight surprising? Very much so, because there was only 2 cars that should have been in the running, and that was the 9 and the 20, who have to be heartbroken there. Christopher Bell, in the second Final Four appearance of his Cup Series career, again, here in the career mode at least, couldn't quite make it happen in Season 1 and doesn't make it happen in Season 3. Unbelievable scenes there, but that's going to wrap it up for the season of the career mode. You guys will be the determining factor in how the format works going forward. Is the playoffs going to remain? Is the 10-race chase going to get a run for at least one season? We'll find out the answers to that based off your votes and in the off-season episode. There's a lot of things on the horizon that are great in this career mode, and I look forward to season number 4. Thank you guys for the support all season long. I really do appreciate it. This has been probably the best overall season in terms of consistency from your guys' support, and I appreciate it so much. I'll see you guys in the off-season episode. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.